This video is a walkthrough of Gold Baron Legends #1, Stagecoach Robbery, The Puzzle Quest, Part 1, Ebenezer Underwood. So you're encouraged to go and try to solve all the puzzles yourself, but if you get stuck and you need help, then you can watch this video, or if you just want to skip right through to the end, you can do that too. So here we are on the Stagecoach Robbery page. I'm going to skip all the story. We're just going to focus on the clues themselves. The first person to solve this took 45 hours and 30 minutes. So again, if you want to try to do this for yourself, that's the time to beat. They had no help. But if, again, you want to just skip through and see all the solutions, well, this is the video for you. So we're going to click on Follow Ebenezer, and we're going to read his story as he's traveling through the desert flats. And the clues are right here. Keep to the ground we named for your key. Remember Visionaire, all capitals. So during the 1800s, when the story is being written, the Visionaire cipher was a known cipher and was an actual cipher that people used. And all we need to do is need to know what the key is, and then we can decipher this text right here. So he says, keep to the ground we named for your key. And if we read the letter closely, you will see that it says, best keep to the flats. So some mirroring of language here where he says, keep to the ground, keep to the flats. So flats is our keyword. Now I'm going to go to Wikipedia. I'm going to just look up this style of cipher. And this is what it looks like. So here is the table of Visionaire Square. So all you need to do is come down to the first letter in the key. So in this case, it's F, because again, it's flats. We're going to go across until we find the first letter, which in this case is an H, that is on the text that we're deciphering. So we go from the F all the way across to the H and then go up. The first letter is C. The second letter, so we're going to come down in the word flats, come down to the letter L, and we're going to go across until we find a W, because that was the second letter. And so we find the W, we go up, and it's an L. So we're going to do that, and we're going to keep repeating the keyword flats, because there's fewer letters here than there are down here. So as you can see, we turn this H into a C, the W became an L, and then we just keep going flats, 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 flats until we've deciphered all of these. And so it says, climb the ledge. So we are going to enter the canyon here, and we're going to type in climb the ledge. And it takes us to the next page. So then we can see Ebenezer here, and he's looking at a canyon. And it's not quite as clear what our next clue is going to be. Just need to find out what is the clean sign. Because he said the clean sign will be my marked path. So we need to figure out where the clue is somewhere in here. It's not quite as clear. We need to figure out where there are clues in the text here of what is the clean sign. And right here, this last paragraph is actually where we need to focus. He says, I sat a long spell studying the far wall. So we're also going to be studying the far wall actually in that photo up above. And he says there's one branch of the canyon that drops steep and narrow. So to the left, there's a steep and narrow. The canyon drops down. And the other side, it's wider and more open. So he's studying the far wall of the canyon. The canyon branches steep and narrow to the left, and then it's wide and open to the right. And he says the stone above it holds true where the seams met clean. So let's take a look at this image here, and we do see that the canyon is dropping down to the left. It's much steeper on this side, kind of some treacherous terrain. And over here, it's wider, and it's going to be an easier path to follow. And actually, like he said, he was looking at the far wall. You can actually see where the seams here are meeting clean. And I'll come back down here, you can see it here. The stone above it holds true. So above the canyon on the far wall, where the seams met clean. So we can see these clean seams right here form a cross shape, which the clean sign, if you want to look at a like a Christian imagery, the clean sign could be the cross. And so it forms a cross, and the clean sign, even if you're not looking at it from a Christian perspective, it's a cross shape as the seams form a cross. So we're going to, cross is the key word. We're going to type that in here. It's all capital letters. We're going to go to the next page. So here he is. He's at the canyon, the mouth of this mine that he's found, and he says he's found a lost shaft. So here's our text here, and we need to figure out what does this mean. So we need to look again for the clues within his letter. So right here he says, keep to the steps. So he's giving an instruction. And if we look earlier, he said, for every 4 steps forward, it felt like I fell 1 back. So what we're going to do is, if you take the letter H and move forward 4 letters, instead of taking 4 steps, we're going to go forward 4 letters. So H, I, J, K, L. So the H becomes an L. And then the next letter, an F, you're going to take 1 step back. So that F becomes an E, because it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then you take the letter B and you go forward 4 steps. You keep doing that, and it becomes left tunnel. So when you enter the mine, we're going to type in left tunnel. And now he has reached this wall here, and we need to figure out what to do. So actually, there's a little trick here. When you click on this through the Bradis, it will reach a dead end. And a lot of people got caught up here and didn't know what to do. So we've reached a dead end. We don't know what to do. We're going to go back. And what we're going to do is we're going to read this. And there's a few clues in here. He says, I worked my hands along the wall where the seams met, pressing the stone and rapping it light with my knuckles. So he's actually pushing against the stone. He leans against it, and it gives way. So this is a little tricky, a little different than what we've seen so far before, but you will actually see on my mouse, when I put my mouse cursor on the stone where his hand is pushing, we're going to click on it, and we're just going to push through the wall, and that's it. It's a little bit of a simple trick, probably frustrating to some people that got stuck there to see it, but you push through the wall just like he did, and now he's in the next part of the tunnel. And now we're at the final, this is the final puzzle. And whoever solves this first is going to get the silver bar. So what we did was, it's just a brute force puzzle. You have to just keep, there's multiple solutions, but you have to put all of these and fit all of these pieces onto this honeycomb in the center. And there is more than one way that can be done, but only one of them will spell a word. And what's interesting is, there's actually fewer combinations than people think, because there's a straight line that goes through here, here, and here. So if you were to just ask a computer how many times you could arrange these, it will have way more solutions than there actually are, because you can actually just take the same solution and rotate it. It's almost like a circle, right? So you can take it and rotate it 6 different ways, or all the same arrangement of the keys. But this is where it gets really creative, some of the different ways that some of the people approached this. I'm going to show you some pictures from some of the people that later ended up solving it. So this is the person who finally did solve it. He actually had a very excellent approach. He took a screenshot, and then he went in Photoshop and created his own pieces so that he could actually move these around. And then he has these lines that show that, again, when you arrange them, there's 3 different straight lines that it could be going through. And so he just moved the pieces around till he made them fit. And so actually we have here, it says Timbers. So it says timbers. That's the solution. But before we put that in, I will show you some of the other things that people did. This was a really cool approach. Someone took some poker chips, and they're different colors, and he did the same thing here, where he arranged them in the same shape as the pieces. And then someone even used a laser cutter and they created their own pieces this way. And they got the solution, I think, half an hour or an hour after the first person to solve. So Timbers. So it's just a puzzle. Again, there were multiple ways that these pieces could be assembled, but only one of them had created a word that would go across the center. Timbers. And we're going to type in timbers. So you click on find the stash. Timbers. And the silver bar was up in the timbers within the mine. And we come down here. And when you click on claim the prize, what it does is it creates an email, and it emailed me the a code word, and so I would know that someone had solved it. And they could write whatever they wanted. They provided the photo to me that they had put it together. So that is Ebenezer's story and the solutions to all of his clues. And we'll have a separate video that explains how to solve Isaiah Weber's story. Thanks for watching.